Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Sara and this yoga class is an offering of Toivo, an initiative of Advocacy Unlimited. I want to remind you before we dive in that you're going to take responsibility for keeping yourself safe. Know that everything that I offer is just an option. You're going to take what works for you and you're going to leave the rest. This is going to be a gentle flow, an opportunity for you to come back to your body, to connect with your breath, and to see if you can find a little space and clarity in the mind. We're going to start on our back. So you're going to lower all the way down into a constructive rest posture. You're going to plant your feet about hip distance apart, and you're going to roll yourself all the way back. And you might want to sway the knees gently side to side. Just allowing the hips to become heavy on the ground. And maybe start to notice if you can adjust the shoulders at all, walking the shoulders just a little underneath you, maybe towards each other. And then eventually find a little bit of stillness. Let the knees reach up towards the sky. And let your palms face down. A little moment to just touch the ground, to become one with the earth. And maybe here it feels safe to leave the eyes open, or maybe it feels good to close the eyes. Wherever you find yourself, I want you to really bring your awareness to where the body touches the ground. The feet, the hips, the shoulders, the back of the head. And start to notice how it feels to breathe in your body. Not to change the breath, not to deepen the breath, but to just notice how you have arrived. And you can begin to practice noticing the quality of your breath, the qualities of your breath. Is there a temperature as you breathe in and as you breathe out? Can you feel the breath on the nostrils, in the throat, in the chest? Does the belly move as you breathe? Are you noticing an emotion or emotions that arise as you bring awareness to your breath? Is there a sense of constriction or freedom? And there's no right or wrong answer. We just arrive, and the practice is to hold space for ourselves just as we are. When you feel like you've met your breath where it is, when you feel like you've really settled your body just a little heavier to the ground, not to be completely settled, but to have noticed a few parts of the body touching the ground, I'm going to invite you to start to take in a fuller, deeper breath. Really slowly, you're going to elongate the inhale by drawing the breath a little deeper into the body. The belly might expand, the ribs and the chest. And as you exhale, the belly will drop a little bit, the ribs will deflate, and the chest will drop. And you'll just let that inhale lengthen, maybe a little pause, and exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. Breathe this fuller, deeper breath at your own time, your own pace. It might even feel right to bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the low belly and really breathe into the hands to feel this deep three-part process that you're moving into. yourself just a few more rounds. And if it feels right, I'll invite you now to bring both hands to the heart. I want you to take a moment here to really connect with the heart. And maybe for you, this is the beating of the physical heart. Maybe this is a connection to God, nature, love, flow. All names are welcome. Nature, right? Something greater. Maybe it's just a sense of gratitude or a happy memory or a loved one's face. And no right or wrong here. Whatever way feels right to connect, just connect there. Breathe into it. Breathe into the heart. And in this space, I invite you to set an intention for your practice. What are you dedicating the breath, the movement, and the mindfulness to? Yoga is an amplifier. So what is it that you'd like to amplify out into the world today? Maybe it's as simple as bringing connection to the physical body, calm to the mind. Maybe there's something much more that is on your heart today. And know that whatever it is that you hope for yourself, I hope it for you too. Let's seal those intentions. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Beautiful. When you're ready, you'll slowly begin to roll over to one side and gently sit yourself up. That constructive rest posture, although it seems really simple, is really beneficial at bringing a sense of grounding, right? Feeling our body to the earth. It's also really good if you experience any back pain. Just giving yourself a moment to rest to the ground, relaxing this deep muscle in the belly called the psoas. So here, let's start to find a little movement in the shoulders now. Take the shoulders up to the ears, back and down. You can keep the hands still on the legs, or you can let them move up and down the legs, which can really be nice, bringing a sense of connection to the lower part of the body. I know in my life, anytime I feel anxious, I tend to lose connection with my legs first, right? I kind of lose that sensation. So sometimes moving the hands up and down the legs can give us a sense of grounding, right? Coming back to the body, up to the ears, back and down. Maybe you link with the breath, right? Inhale up and exhale down. And notice the desire to move quickly, right? And it's your choice how you move today in this practice. Oftentimes moving quicker is easier, right, than slowing down. Linking with that slow breath. When you're ready, we'll slowly let the shoulders come back down. Let your spine grow really long. In this seated posture, if this isn't comfortable, if you find your knees really high, you can always take your hands back behind you, opening the heart, lifting up nice and tall, and really resting here. Otherwise, you're stacking shoulders over hips, reaching up through the top of the head. Take your left ear to the left shoulder. Take a deep breath here. Slowly slowly let the head move forward. You're still reaching out tall through the top of the head, but you're letting the head drop heavy to the center. Now breathe into the back of your neck. And then slowly start to move over to the other side. You're just opening your shoulders here, keeping the neck long, finding that space in the neck and breathing into the space that you're creating. And then we'll come back the way that we came, dropping to the center. The shoulders stay open here. We stay nice and tall in the spine, all the way up through the top of the head. Breathing, and then slowly making our way over to the other side. Breathe deep here into the space that you're creating in the neck. Beautiful. We'll let the head come back up. Take a moment to roll out your wrists, just circling in one direction. Lots of pops and creaks. Rolling in one direction and then the other. And you're just breathing naturally here, nothing to force in or out. If you find yourself holding your breath at any point, that's an indicator to come back to that deep 3-part breath that we did at the beginning. And it's also an indicator to check in with the postures that you're doing. I'm going to reverse back the other way for a minute. Right? Maybe you're moving a little deeply, too deep into the posture, and you're going to pull yourself back a little bit. Maybe you're moving a little too quick. So you're just going to use the breath as a guide throughout your practice. A little squeeze and release. Like you're flicking water off of the fingers. And we even breathe into these small movements, right? Yoga is prana management or energy management, and we not only take shapes with our physical body, but we fill the shapes that we create with life force prana, this energy, this revitalizing energy. So all the movements, even those little movements in the fingers, become so important. Beautiful. When you're ready, sit up nice and tall, arms open wide. And exhale, round hug a beach ball. The head can drop slightly. Inhale, open. The gaze can even lift slightly, but not to force anything in the neck. And with the exhale, round hug that beach ball. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Beautiful. And let the hands come down. Go ahead and ground your left hand. Let your right arm reach up and over. It doesn't have to be far to start, right? This movement is very clearly on a spectrum. All movements lie on a spectrum, and you get to choose what is safe for you. Right? And sometimes it's good to hold back, to be gentle, to be compassionate. I'd say sometimes this is the harder work. Sometimes going deeper, a little bit out of our comfort zone, helps us to move into a sense of thriving rather than just surviving. So you get to choose where you are today, and each side, each movement is going to be different. Can you breathe into this shape? Can you relax the toes, right? You relax the eyes. Where do you hold tension? Where are you working where you don't need to work here? The practice of yoga lets us learn how to move the body really efficiently. Just a few more rounds. Just flow at your own time. Own pace will slowly open up. And the more you can keep your shoulders stacked over your hips, the more you're going to allow yourself to move and stretch into that side body. Beautiful. Let's do one more time each side. legs come out in front of you. Take your hands back behind you. I'm going to turn my fingertips inward. This is pretty intense on the wrist, so I want you to just take what feels nice. You can even come onto tented fingers. What we want is an open heart here. And you're just going to gently press the feet into the ground as you open the heart. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Take a deep breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, you're going to slowly cross your legs and you're going to come onto all fours. We're going to make our way into a tabletop. Tabletop, we work to keep our shoulders over our wrists, hips over knees, but every body is different, right? So it might feel nice for you in your shoulders to take a little bit of a wider stance. It might feel nice for you to take the knees a little bit wider. There's no right or wrong, and the body really truly does love variation. So go ahead and take what serves you here. When you're ready, we'll start to draw the navel in towards the spine, and we'll reach out long through the top of the head. You can tuck your toes here. And we're just gonna start to breathe here. Can you notice if your weight is shifting more into the left hand, the left knee, right hand, right knee? And can you find that center? Balance between the front, the hands, and the back, the knees. Take a deep breath. Long neck, long, strong neck. Beautiful. When you're ready, we're going to drop the belly, curl the toes, lift the gaze. And exhale, round the spine, drop the head, release the feet, press the hands into the earth. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, drop the belly. And exhale. Take a few more rounds on your own. And I want you to just let yourself move however the body wants to move here. So maybe you find yourself looking over to one hip, stretching the side of the body, looking over to the other. Maybe you find yourself moving more in what we call a barrel roll, rounding the spine. Maybe it's more of just a movement in the hips, or maybe you're rolling out the neck. I want you to just take what feels right here. You can even move the hands away from the knees and rock forward and back. So you're just exploring. You're just exploring. And the body really does know what it needs to heal and to grow. And oftentimes it's just a matter of, can we listen? Right? Can we quiet the mind? Can we come back into the body enough to listen? And it's not really a listening with the ears, right? It's like a deeper listening, and listening with the body, with every cell of the body. Okay, if you haven't already, walk your hands out in front of you a little bit, and we'll all start to move into this forward and back. So kind of like you're sitting back into child's pose. It doesn't have to be all the way at first. And then you're moving forward. Start to draw the navel in towards the spine. And really, what I'm trying to get you to do here is to really start to activate your core. And drawing the navel into the spine is just one aspect of activating the core, right? So it's almost like drawing the sides of the body in as well. You want to think of a corset action happening towards the spine. And so just front to back, a few breaths. And we're moving rather slow today, and so notice that the mind might want to speed up. Can you let this slow, mindful movement be enough? And in that way, you're declaring that you are enough. You are enough. And you can affirm that to yourself as you practice, right? Breathing in, I am. Exhale, enough. Go ahead and sit yourself back into child. For some of you, the knees will be closer together, and for some of you, the knees will be farther apart. Some of you, this position might feel a little uncomfortable. If you have a blanket or a pillow that you'd like to put under your sitting bones on top of your shins or on top of your calves, that will take a little compression off the knees. You can even stack 2 fists. Okay. Beautiful. When you are ready, you're going to walk your hands wherever you are over to the left. And then when you're ready, you'll come back to center and you'll walk your hands over to the right and breathe. And then you'll come back to center. We'll rise back up to our tabletop. And you can take a moment here. Maybe here you're coming into a different variation, right? You're giving the body variation, or maybe you're coming back and trying to find that stability that you've cultivated in that first round. When you're ready, we're going to extend the left leg back, dial your toes down. We're not going for height here, just extension out of the hip, out through the crown of the head, that corset action in the core. That upper arm bone is externally rotating. There's this like a rolling pin rolling away from the midline of your body. And breathe here. Take a breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly take that leg back down. Let's come right to the other side. Shifting sides, right leg extends back just for extension. Check in. Is the belly dropping? Is the hip lifting? We really want strong, engaged center. Reaching out through the heel, reaching out through the top of the head. Take a deep breath. And slowly come on down. We'll come back to the other side. Left side extends out, strong center. Open shoulders, right? Those, when I say open, that's like that external rotation. The arm creases, the elbow creases are starting to turn to face forward, not to lock out the elbow, but just to give a little openness in the shoulder. Okay, now you can stay here, and you can always tuck your back toes under, or you can press the top of the foot down. Notice what feels more stable for you, and if it feels right, you can get a little bit more sensation, a little bit more work. Lift your right arm, let the palm face forward, and again, not really for height, just extension, one long line of energy. Take a deep breath. One more. And slowly lower down. Beautiful. Go ahead and sit back into your child's pose. This time I want you to tense your fingers out in front of you. This feels nice to release the wrists for many people. And go ahead and just take a little sway in the hips. Let your shoulders move towards your ears as your fingertips walk away. And then let the fingertips move over to the left. Breathe. Back to center, over to the right. Beautiful. Come back to center, and we'll start to rise back up to our table. Okay. We'll come right to the other side. Go ahead and extend. Right leg back. Maybe you stay right here, right? Everything is just an option. And you're going to use your breath as a guide. More sensation. Opposite arm lifts. Palm faces inward. One long line of energy here. That corset action in the core. Towards the spine. Long neck gaze is down. Let's take 2 more breaths. Beautiful. When you are ready, slowly lower down. We're going to make our way into downward facing dog. Walk your hands out in front of you. Press your fingertips, press your knuckles. You're going to get that external rotation in the shoulders. Those elbow creases are going to start to turn towards the front of the room. Tuck your toes under, pull the hips up and back. Shoulders press towards the ears. And you might have to play around here, how close the feet are to the hands. Right? You can come up onto your toes. You can let one heel drop in and then the other. You can give a little bend to one knee and then the other. Breathe here. And then when you're ready, see if you can come into just a moment of stillness. The heels can work their way towards the ground, but I really like to keep them lifted. It really works through the legs. It really lets me feel an activation there. So notice what feels right for you. Take a deep breath. One more, shake out the head. And when you're ready, come back onto your knees. Walk your hands in. Come onto your fingertips. Let's step the left foot forward. Press down with the front foot, down with the back knee. Move them towards each other without actually moving. With that stability, rise on up. You can tuck the back toes under or press the top of the foot into the ground. Take a moment here. Balance challenge. Deep breath in. Long breath out. If it feels right, you can let your arms rise. You can create more sensation by giving yourself more distance between the foot and the knee. So you can walk the front foot forward. You can, with your back leg down, the front knee can move past the ankle, that's okay. But keep that activation, keep the legs drawing towards each other even as the hips are pressing forward and the stance is wider. Take a deep breath. One more. When you're ready, hands come down. You're going to plant your right hand, left arm opens up to the side. If this is too much in the shoulders, keep the hand to the hip. Take what you need. Deep breath. Keep the activation in the legs if you can. Slowly lower down. Let's take that leg back. Let's take a cat and cow. Drop the belly, curl the toes, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine, drop the head, release the feet, press the hands into the earth. One more. Beautiful, come back to center. Come up onto fingertips. Let's step the opposite foot forward. Find that activation. Rise on up. Choose what you want to do with that back foot. And check in, like, okay, stretch is enough for me here, or do I want to move into a deeper sensation? Is that what's serving me in this moment? And remember, there's nothing to prove here, right? This is just you exploring your body and letting yourself open up really gently, compassionately in your own time. The shapes, right? Settling into a deeper shape is not going to make you a better person. But allowing yourself to open in a very natural and unique way for you, that's going to be so beneficial in you understanding what it's like to come home to your body, what it's like to feel a life that is supported, right? Connected to the ground. If it feels right, the arms can lift. Take a deep breath. you're kind of finding yourself wobbling around a little bit, find that stability in the legs and then let your gaze look at one thing in front of you. Find that focused attention with the eyes. When you're ready, you'll slowly take the hands down, plant your left hand, and we'll take that twist to the right. Now hand can rest to the hip or the arm reaches up tall. Take a deep breath. When you're ready, we'll slowly come on down. Now here, we're gonna take our back leg and we're gonna meet the front leg in a forward fold, and you're gonna get there however you need to. No right or wrong, let's all meet in that forward fold. I want you to really press your feet into the ground like you're pressing down and out so that the legs become active. Right? You might even feel a widening across the low back and into the glutes. And as you do that, you're going to lengthen the spine as you fold forward. Shake out the head. Shake the head, yes and no. Now notice, are you letting all of your weight sink into your heels? If so, can you move some of that weight into those front toe ball mounts? And if you're way in the front toe ball mounts, can you share the weight with the heel? The legs do not have to be straight. It's actually really nice to keep a little bit of a bend there. You can even sway the upper body. Beautiful. Come back to center. Bend those knees. Let the arms come out wide. Press through the feet and rise all the way up. Let your arms sweep to the sides and up. And exhale. Hands to heart center. Take a moment here. Take a moment. Feel your feet to the ground. And take a moment to notice your breath. Beginning of our practice, we noticed the qualities of the breath as we have arrived. Now, can you notice the quality of your breath in this moment? Has it changed? And in this moment, take a little bit of time to bring your awareness back to that intention that you set. Bring it back into your mind and into your heart. Take a few breaths there. Beautiful. When you are ready, let your palms come down. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms rise, let your palms touch. Put a little bend in both knees. Lift up through the top of the head and start to drop over to one side. It doesn't matter what side. We'll make our way to the other. Go ahead and come back to center. Over to the other side. The hips stay right where they are. Come back to center and release. Let's inhale, arms open wide. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And round, hug that beach ball. Inhale, arms open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. And with the exhale, let the hands come back behind you. Now maybe you're just reaching. The shoulder blades are squeezing together. Or maybe you're clasping the hands. The knuckles can move towards the floor. The shoulders drop away from the ears as you reach up to the top of the head. Now be mindful. I know in my body it's good to keep a little bit of a bend to the knees because then I tend to straighten them and I start to pitch myself forward. So check in, right? Can you keep your hips right, stacked over those ankles, shoulders over the hips, balance between the left and the right side. Deep breath. Where are you creating space here as the shoulders squeeze together? Space in the chest. Can you breathe fully there into the heart? One more. Beautiful. Go ahead and release. We'll come back to center. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. This time you can bend your right knee straight in your left leg. Draw your forehead to the bent knee. Breathe. Both knees bent. Other side, left knee bends, right leg straightens, drawing the forehead towards the bent knee. It's just the direction that we're moving in. It doesn't have to touch. Beautiful, both knees bent. Shake out the head. Beautiful. When you are ready, we're going to take our hands down to the ground and we're going to come back to our tabletop. Let's take a couple cat and cow. Drop the belly, curl the toes, lift the gaze. And exhale, round the spine, drop the head, release the feet, press the hands into the earth. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Beautiful. Come back to center. Go ahead and come onto your right hip now. And you have a few options here. The first option is to come on to your forearm. You're gonna stack your shoulder over your elbow. You're gonna press your fingertips into the ground. And the knees are just gently bent, stacked on top of each other, okay? So you can stay here as we come into a little movement in the legs. Otherwise, you can let your bottom arm extend all the way out so that you can really focus on the legs here. Wherever you are, breathe. If you are on your forearm, the side of the body lifts up, long neck, keeping nice and strong, not dumping into the joint. Okay? And so here we're just going to do a little clamshell. Right, so we're opening and closing, but you're really squeezing the glute. Right, this is a movement that's happening with the muscle, right? Not just the bones, the shape of the bones. We're moving supported by the glutes. So give those glutes a squeeze as you open. Squeezing closed. And if you feel like you're kind of working more into the top of the thigh and you're not feeling it in the glute, try to bring your legs back a little bit. Yeah. You can take the opposite hand and rest in front of you, or maybe hand to hip. And if at any point you find yourself dumping into the shoulder, really go ahead and lift yourself up or lay yourself all the way down. Just because you started one way doesn't mean you have to stay there. That's really one of the beautiful lessons that has really impacted my life in yoga, is that we can move our bodies out of discomfort or out of pain, and that's a promise that the body remembers. So it's like we're creating this new relationship with ourselves where it's like, I'm going to keep you safe. Okay, go ahead and lower down. Go ahead and take your bottom leg straight. Now you can take your top foot and start to bring it in front of you. For some of you, it might just be right in front of the leg, and for some of you, you might be able to step forward a little bit more. So here, right, just sit up nice and tall. Maybe this is enough. More sensation. You're gonna really anchor that arm into the ground. You're gonna draw the side of the body up, and you're gonna lift the hip. Hand can rest to the ground, the hip, or even the sky. Take a deep breath. One more. Slowly lower down. Beautiful job. Take the legs back, lift yourself up. We're gonna come right over to the other side. Beautiful. So maybe what you do on this side is different than the other side, right? Some of us have experienced maybe injury on one side, and it's okay to really meet each side, each part of the body right where it is. It doesn't always have to be like just equal on either side. Wherever you are, squeeze those glutes, open the leg, opening up, right? And if you feel like maybe you're working more into the top of the thigh, you're gonna scoot the legs back just a little bit. The belly is strong here. And it's a whole practice in learning how to engage muscles. As a teacher, it's a really fun thing to try to explain what it feels like to activate different parts of the body. I'm sure for everyone, it's gonna be a different feeling. So it really is something that you get to explore and understand for yourself. Beautiful. We'll go ahead and straighten the bottom leg. Top foot will move forward. Remember, you're only letting it move forward as far as feels right. You can stay right here, sitting up nice and tall, or for more sensation, you're lifting the hip, you're breathing here. Nice open shoulder, maybe the arm rises. Let's take 2 breaths. Long neck. And when you're ready, nice and slow, lower down. Beautiful. Go ahead and come back onto your seat. Take your hands back behind you. Let the knees sway side to side. Let the knees drop to the left. Right arm reaches forward and then back behind you. See if you can stay lifted up nice and tall. Take a deep breath. We'll come right to the other side. Knees drop to the right. Left arm sweeps forward and back behind you. Take a deep breath. Beautiful. Come back to center. Bring the soles of the feet together. Now here in this butterfly pose, your legs can be as close to your feet can be as close to you as feels right, or feet can move away. You're going to choose. Your hands can really be wherever it feels right as well. So maybe if you find yourself rounding here a little uncomfortable, you'll take your hands back behind you and just let the soles of the feet touch as you lift up out of the hips and press the heart forward, crown of the head reaching. Okay. If it feels right for you to sit up tall, you can take your hands to the legs. And if it feels right for you, another option is to take the hands to the tops of the feet. With the hands on the feet, kind of wrapping over the toes here, you can press the feet into the hands and you can pull back, hands on the feet, just pulling back. Open the shoulders, open the heart, and you can look over one shoulder. Nice stretch kind of along that clavicle bone. Breathe. Beautiful. Maybe the gaze gently looks up. Beautiful. Maybe for a moment you let yourself round forward. A few more breaths. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly rise up. Go ahead and take the feet back to the mat, about hip distance apart, and we're going to end right where we started. We'll come back into that constructed rest. Lower yourself down, nice and slow. Letting yourself land here. Maybe a little sway in the knees from side to side. Beautiful. Letting the knees come back to center and just taking a moment to breathe here. A few breaths in this constructive rest, feeling where your body touches the ground. And with each exhale, maybe dropping a little heavier into those spots, letting the body rest as if you're letting yourself be held here. And when it feels right for you, you can slowly begin to straighten out the legs. We're making our way into our final resting posture. Sometimes straightening the legs, especially for longer than a few minutes, will not feel comfortable in your body. You can always come back to bent knees here. So take what feels right for you. Your legs can be together or wide, arms can be alongside the body or wide, palms face up or down. Maybe you want to take a moment to put a pillow under your knees or a blanket over your body. If it feels comfortable, leave the eyes open. If it feels comfortable, close the eyes. What feels right for you? And start to let your awareness move to the breath. And you're following your natural breath in and out. Following the breath in and out. Each exhale, the body softens. When the mind wanders, you just come back to the breath. No judgments, nothing to fear or have shame about. Just a gentle bringing back to focus. Might notice that there are some parts of the body that feel really soft, relaxed, and some parts of the body might still be holding on to some tension or tightness. And we just breathe into both. You are welcome to stay here as long as it feels right. When you're ready, you'll slowly begin to find little movements in the fingers, toes, wrists, and the ankles. Beginning to draw the knees towards the chest. A little rock from side to side. Or gently rolling over to one side. And taking a moment here to come back to that intention that you set. Few breaths. When it feels right, you'll slowly begin to press yourself up. Make our way back into an easy seated posture. We'll close our practice by drawing our hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in and out. And we'll close with the sacred sound of Om. Welcome to join in. Take a deep breath. Thank you all so much for joining in this practice with me today. Know that if you have any questions or you are curious about any of the other Toivo